Hey, I'm Antonio, a local real estate agent in the GTA, and welcome back to the AV Team Real Estate channel. You probably heard that the market had been down for a few months already, and that the decline since the rate hike in March was up until halfway of the year. In this video, I want to share some of the numbers from the Toronto Real Estate Board that are specific to some of your most important areas, such as Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan. If you are interested in how much it went down so far from the peak, make sure you stick around right after this. Just wanted to let you know that one of my most recent clients requested more detailed information on freehold properties in Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan. The client was interested in learning how the market had declined and by how much. The data I'm going to provide to you covered the period from the start of the year through May. I'm aware that June's statistics were down as well, but I'll save it for another video that will provide more updates for June and July. If you like the format and this type of market update in any other area, comment down below and I will try to make the market update video just for you. First and foremost, these are the 6 major categories that I believe could provide you with information on how the market was performing and how much prices have dropped since January of 2022. Keep in mind that I picked the 3 areas in your region, such as Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan, with the highest transaction in order to avoid making the comparison too long. Going through the list, number 1, we are going to look at the number of sales, which is number of transactions in each of the area in Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan. Next, we're going to take a look at the days on the market. After that, we're going to look at the terminated transaction, or sometimes we call it canceled transactions, for each of the area. And number 4, we're going to take at the average prices and then the median prices, which is I consider more accurate to determine the pricing of the properties. And lastly, we are going to look at the price drop. Okay, starting off with the number of sales, which means number of transactions, and we are focusing on the 3 main areas in your region: Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan. We are actually excluding the rest of the York region, such as the area of Aurora, East Williamsbury, Georgina, King, Newmarket, and Stouffville. Starting of the year, we know that the market was really hot. In Markham, we had 221 transactions, and in Richmond, we have 209 transactions, and in Vaughan, the most at 236 transactions. In February, one of the peak months for selling market, we have Markham at 358 transactions, up from 221, and then Richmond Hill up from 209 to 289 transactions. In Vaughan, we have 236 up to 447 transactions. In the March month, which we actually experienced the first rate hike in Toronto. However, we see the market didn't actually take effect yet, because we all know the real estate market sometimes lag behind from actual interest rate hikes. So we can see later on some of the effects later on. In Markham, we have seen the big increase from 358 transactions to 497, and Richmond Hill from 289 to 320, and then we have the most in Vaughan at 447 transactions up to 510 transactions. So after that, in April, we did have another rate hike as well, and the effect from March, so we can see from 497 transactions in Markham down to 301 transactions, and then here in Richmond Hill, 320 down to 198 transactions, which is quite significant. And here at Vaughan at 510 transactions down to 339. And we can see the downward trend in May, which the transactions start to decline, and we can see the Markham from 301 transactions down to 267, and then Richmond Hill from 198 to 188. Finally, Vaughan from 339 to 268 transactions. Finally, in June, which we had the most recent rate hike, and we can see that again, surprisingly though, Markham didn't do much of a change. In fact, had a little bit up from transactions. Richmond Hill, actually, we did have a decline from 188 to 165, from 268 to 262 transactions. From the experience that we have in March, which they have the first rate hike announcement, it took quite some time for, maybe because of lagging data and also lagging emotions or reaction from the buyers. We can expect July to have a even lower number. Now, on the days on the market sold, These are the numbers for Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan. In a normal good time in Toronto, a property usually takes 14 days to sell. If it's more than 12 days, usually there's some exceptions and maybe the property is not as good, but usually, like I said, the good property or the average property, I would say in the hot selling market, it will get sold in 2 weeks. In this chart, I would show you the number of transactions that took more than 2 weeks to sell, so you can give an idea how the market is. In general, if the number are smaller or less, it means the property gets sold faster. The larger the number, it means the longer it stays on the market. So let's take a look in the first number here in Markham. In January and February was the peak month of Toronto real estate, and we can see that there are only 28 properties that were sold more than 2 weeks. In comparison, in terms of transaction in January, we have Markham at 221. There are only 28 transactions took more than 2 weeks to sell. So in relative, it's pretty small. So is Richmond Hill at 43 and then Vaughan at 58. Now moving to February, which is a hotter month, we have actually 34 transactions that took more than 2 weeks. In Richmond Hill, it has only 29, and then Vaughan has 54 that took more than 2 weeks to sell. Now in March is when we have the first rate hike, which you expect the number to start to climb up. It's expected from 34, we have 66 transactions that took more than 2 weeks to sell, and then we have from 29 to 59 transactions that took more than 2 weeks, and 54 to 60 in Vaughan. In April, there was another rate hike, and we expect the number to climb again, and there are 96 transactions that took more than 2 weeks in Markham from 301 transactions. In Richmond, we have 61, Vaughan at 89. So in May, up from 96 to 102 in Markham, and then Richmond we have 61 up to 84 transactions that took more than 2 weeks, and then we have 97 that took more than 2 weeks in Vaughan. Finally, in June, which we are already expected, there's another rate hike, and we have seen the number climb again from 102 in May, and we have 117 transactions took more than 2 weeks in Markham, and then 85 took more than 2 weeks in Richmond Hill, and then Vaughan at 109. Generally, we have the number going up as the market start to cool down because of the interest rate hike, and this actually confirms the data. Having already noticed, I took the time to dig up the information and extract from the Toronto Real Estate Board so that I could provide you with this in-depth analysis. In a localized area like the one I just covered, most of the Market Watch report wouldn't be so detailed. If you do enjoy it, and I would appreciate you liking the video and also consider subscribing to our channel for more market updates just like this one. Also comment below if you have any other area that you would like me to cover, and I will try to make it next for you. Moving on to the terminated transactions. Here we see again the number of transactions that have been terminated. Just because a transaction was canceled or terminated doesn't automatically mean that it didn't sell. However, it may just been removed from the listing and subsequently been relisted and sold. More often than not, most transactions that are terminated is because the seller didn't have the price they were expecting. They simply don't want to sell because they didn't get the price. In general, if the number are higher, means the number of transactions that have been terminated is an indicator of the market slowing down. So as you can see in Markham, in January there were only 42 that were terminated, in Richmond Hill for 47 and Vaughan 39. In February, you have to increase a little, 82 to 84 that were terminated in Richmond, then Vaughan 92. But we can see quite a big change since the rate hike happened in March, which jumped from 82 to 281 in Markham, and then 84 to 223 in Richmond Hill, and Vaughan from 92 to 318. As you can see, there was big jump from that. And then in April, another rate hike, and we can see it jumped from almost 100 transactions for each region. And in May, again, there are 300 plus in Markham, and then Richmond Hill 263, and then Vaughan at 458. It's higher the number, the more transaction was terminated. It could be all the reasons that I mentioned before. An indicator for you to see that the market is actually much more calmer than back in January or February when the market was really hot. So here is the breakdown of all detached property and average prices in the area in Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan. And just to be clear, the previous data that I just shown you, like the terminated transactions and the number of sales, all those are all home types, meaning that it includes all the detached homes, townhouses, which is freehold, and the semi-detached, and the condos. But for this, I'm going to break it down for you for detached home only. So for those who are looking for more specific average prices in detached home in Markham, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, these are the data. We can take a look in January, which is actually averaging 2,124,000 here in January for Markham. Richmond barely breaking the 2 million mark, and Vaughan 2.1. Now, this is the peak of the market in January and February. So you can see in February, actually it went up from 2.124 in Markham. We have 2.126 million in here in Markham. So in Richmond, same story, it has gone up slightly more, and in Vaughan from 2.1 to 2.2. Now in March is the rate hike, so we can start to see the decline in terms of average prices. Markham, we went down from 2.1 to 1.9, and then in Richmond from 2.1 to 2,051,000, and then in Vaughan from 2.2 to 2.044 million. And in April, which is another rate hike announced, and we can see that it's dropped from 1997 to 1938 in Markham, and so on for Richmond Hill, a slight decline, and also in Vaughan. And in May, which is another decline in Richmond to 1.96, finally Vaughan to 1.8. So as you can see from the peak, I'm just comparing from January to May, because the June data hasn't been released yet, or the detached home. I will update you with the information once I have it. But now we're just comparing from May. So from January to May, you can see the decline for Markham for 351,000 so far. And in Richmond, which is the least decline from January, 121,000. And then from Vaughan, you can see the price drop from 2.1 million all the way to 2.8 for 311,000. From this chart, for detached only, you can see that Markham dropped the most, which is quite significant right now. You can see 351,000 that they dropped the price from. I can see the trend, it could be lower in June and even in July. So I will keep you posted on that. But if you are the one who are actually looking for information on detached, these are the prices that you can consider right now. Now we are moving on to the detached home again, but this time we are going to take a look at the median prices, not the average prices. So the difference between average pricing and also the median prices is that usually the average prices are higher, because let's say for example, if a property is 2 million, but let's say there's another property in the same area that sold for 3 or 4 million, which is quite in the very high end, that can actually drive or skew the number higher, so the average pricing could be higher. But in median prices, I would say it's more accurate representation, because they take the whole sample size and take the medium or the prices in the middle to represent the median prices. So usually that will give you a more accurate representation of the property value. In Markham, so we started at 1.878 million, and Richmond Hill at 1.9, and Vaughan at 2.05 million. In February even went higher, so the market was the peak, and we can see Markham has also a slight increase, so is in Richmond Hill and in Vaughan. So March, as of the rate hike announcement, we can see a drop off from 1.994 million to 1.865 million in Markham, and then in Richmond they have from 1.99 million to 1.905 million. Vaughan, same story, they dropped from 2.090 million to 1.861. Pause the video if you want to take a look and examine the data for yourself. Here they are in April, where there's another rate hike, and you can expect there's a price drop off again. Each of the area have been dropping off. Comparing from January to May number, you can see Markham has dropped somewhere around the 178,000, and then Richmond Hill, they dropped 120,000, and in Vaughan the most at 340,000. Now moving on to semi-detached average prices in Markham, Richmond Hill and Vaughan. We're starting off the peak of the market in January, which is 1.495 million in Markham in January, and then Richmond Hill wasn't that much far off from 1.404, and then Vaughan 1.403. And now in February actually went up from 1.495 to 1.5 in Markham. Richmond Hill also a slight increase in February, and and Vaughan also. So now March, when it's the rate hike or announced, then we have a small decline there from 1.533 to 1.486 in Markham, and then Richmond Hill also have a drop off, and then Vaughan from 1.466 to 1.38. In April, another rate hike announcement, and we have seen the decline again. It's been quite significant, like closer to more than 100,000 decline in each of the area in Richmond Hill and also Vaughan. And the price drop from Markham is 248,000 so far, and in Richmond Hill 73,000, which is the least drop off in Richmond Hill. Quite surprising here. In Vaughan, which is 193,000 drop from January. Now same story here. We are looking at the semi-detached medium prices, not the average price. From January Markham, we have the number starting from 1.466 million in January for Markham, and then Richmond Hill 1.359 and Vaughan at 1.401 million. February the peak, which they have increased the price from 1.466 to 1.510 in Markham, and then Richmond increase and Vaughan increase, of course. And same story in March. After the rate hike announcement, we have first drop in the market. You can examine the data, but from January to May, we have a drop of 214,000 in Markham, and Richmond Hill we have a drop of 159,000 and Vaughan at 176,000 price drop. And now we're talking about the freehold townhouses average price in the Markham, Richmond Hill and Vaughan. So compare the pricing from the semi-detached. I don't think there's a lot of difference between the average prices. So starting in Markham, January at 1.432, then 1.448 and Vaughan at 1.373. And we can see the peak in February, which they actually have increased the price from 1.432 million in Markham to 1.477 in February. So same story with Richmond Hill, there's a slight increase, and in Vaughan. March, which is the rate hike announcement, so we have seen the decline again, 1.477 million in Markham down to 1.395, and Richmond from 1.487 million to 1.355, and Vaughan from 1.414 to 1.377 million. And April, another decline, which is because of another rate hike again, and you can see there's a drop off again. I can see that the freehold townhouse, the drop wasn't as traumatic as the detached or the semi-detached. So in Markham, we can see the comparison between January to until May, we have a drop of 163,000, and then in Richmond Hill we have 204,000 drop, and in Vaughan 169. So in this case, Richmond Hill freehold townhouse has the most drop from this report. And finally, we're moving on to freehold townhouse in Markham, Richmond Hill and Vaughan for medium prices. So starting in January, 1.4 million in the Markham area, and Richmond Hill 1.436 and Vaughan at 1.385. And in February, as expected, it's the peak of the market, and they have a slight increase in each of the area. And March again, the rate hike started, and then we can see the first drop off. And in Markham, we have seen the 151,000 drop from January, well, data from May to January, and Richmond Hill a drop from January for 194,500, and in Vaughan a drop of 185,000. We can simply say here that Richmond Hill has the highest drop in the area. We can see again in June and July, I would expect number to keep on continuing drop. After seeing this video, I hope you have a clear understanding of how the market is behaving in terms of freehold detached homes, semi-detached homes, and townhouses in Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan. So far as of the recording of this video in early July. If you are looking to buy or sell a property, I also hope you have a realistic expectation of the market going forward. Don't hesitate to reach out to AV Team Real Estate. Myself or my team would love to provide you with more information and help you navigate this unique real estate market. You could simply call us at the number right here, or you could use the link in the description below to schedule a call with us. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.